Hey everybody, it's me just making another video. I had a video uploaded about the best movie the video games ever made. Didn't like how that video came out because it was really bad and I was really talking in a low pitched voice, but this is really going to be me giving my top 10 list of the best movie the video games ever. This is going to be a sequel to the worst movie to video games ever made, and then of course sort of I saw Screw Attack's list of what they had, and I just thought I'd bring out my list of some of the best movie video games ever made. So starting at number 10, I got Aladdin for the Sega Genesis and the SNES. This was a very good game. It had the music from the movie in this video game. You can play the different stages from the movie. You can play the stages from the movie in this game, and you had the bonus games as well, and then of course you had the enemies from the movie, and this was just a fun, easy game to play. And of course you had the power-ups, and then of course after every end of the stage you had a Pooh pick up the apple, and he would eat apples, and it would kind of take away from the apples that you had on your life. But still, this was a very fun game. Probably one of my favorite Disney games ever to play. And that's pretty much why I got it at number 10. At number 9, I got The Lion King for the SNES Sega Genesis. This was a very good game. It stuck to the plot from the movie. You start off playing Simba when he's a cub, and then of course you play Simba when he's an adult, and you go through the different stages from when he was a cub all the way to when he's adult. And then of course you can play the different scenes from throughout the movie, and it was just a fun, interesting game, and it stayed true to what the movie did. And that's pretty much why I got it at number 9, as this was a very good game and probably one of my favorite Disney video games, along with Aladdin. And then of course DuckTales, as DuckTales was one of the best Disney video games as well. And then of course you had Chippendales and many other Disney games, and that's why I have it at number 9, as this is just a very good, interesting game. At number 8, I got Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2. This was a very good game, as it stayed true to the movie, and you can also explore the city of New York GTA style. You get to fight most of the enemies that really weren't in the movie, like the Black Cat, and then of course you had the Vulture, and then of course other characters that really weren't even a part of the movie. You get to do some of the scenes that were in the movie, and then some scenes that weren't in the movie, you get to play those scenes as well. And the voice acting was really good in this video game, and it was on par with the movie, and it was just a very fun game, and the controls were just so easy. It was just one of those games that was just so easy to play. Just pick up, do a simple button combination, and then of course you can do the swinging around the New York City, and it was just a fun game to play. And that's why I got it at number 8. At number 7, even though this game just barely came out, I got X-Men Wolverine Origins. This was a very good game. I saw the demo of this game, and this game really impressed me, and playing it as well really impressed me, as it stayed true to the video game. It stayed true to the movie, and it was just a very good game, easy to pick up. This game may be hard, but still it's a very fun game to play. You get to slash and cut your enemies' heads off, and do different ways of killing your enemies in this video game. And it's one of my favorite X-Men video games to play, as really there weren't really that many good X-Men games before this that were made off of the movie. And this kind of took it up a notch, and improved on all those bad X-Men movie video games that came out for the PlayStation 2. And that's pretty much why I got it at number 7. At number 6, I got Gremlins 2 for the NES. This was a very good game. It's the first time that a video game was actually better than a movie, and that's what this video game did, as this game was way better than the movie. It's kind of stayed true to the movie, but was in a sort of way was better than the movie. different items to kill your enemies with, and then of course you have items that you can use to help yourself throughout the game, like the balloon and then many other items. And this was just a very fun, addictive game. It's hard as hell, but still, if you can get over that, it's a very fun game, and you can play this game for hours and won't get tired of it. Number 5, I got Star Wars, the arcade game. This was a very good game as it stayed true to the movie, as you can play all the different scenes from the movies, and then of course you can do the final battle with Darth Vader, and it actually has the how the battle was in the movie. Like, you can actually play how the battle was in the movie against Darth Vader, and it's one of those games that I really enjoy, and probably one of the best movie video games ever made, and it's stayed true to the movie as well. Number 4, I got Jurassic Park, the arcade game. Same thing like the Star Wars game. You get to shoot dinosaurs while you're driving the Jeep, and then of course you can shoot them while you're running or walking, and then you get to do all the different scenes from the movie, and it's just a fun game to play. And it also has a two-player mode, two-player co-op mode, which is very exciting because you get to have a good time with your friends. And really, that's what this is why I have this game on here, because it's just a blast to play, and also a blast to play with friends. Number 3, I got Batman Returns, probably one of the best Batman video games, and really, it's not really saying much. Well, it is kind of saying much because there really isn't that many good Batman games. The only Batman movie games that I can think of that was actually good was Batman for the NES, which I'm going to talk about, which is on this list as well. And then, of course, you had the Batman Return of the Joker, and then I believe Batman The Dark Knight, I believe. Well, one of the Batman games, I forgot what it was called, but I actually thought that was a very good game. And then of course you had the Batman Begins video game, and this game was no exception. It was a good beat 'em up game. It followed the whole story from the Batman movie, and then it had the cutscenes from the Batman movie, and it really just stayed true to the movie, and it also added new enemies and new bosses that weren't really in the movie. And then of course you get to fight Penguin at least 3 or 4 times, and then Catwoman 2 times, and really just an exciting game. And you also had different weapons to kill your enemies with, like with the Bat Bomb, where Batman covers himself and he throws a bomb while he covers himself, and it just kills everything on the screen except for Batman. And then of course you had the Batarang and many other items that Batman uses, and you could kill your enemies with that. And really just a very good game, and probably one of the best Batman video games I ever played, and probably one of the best Batman movie video games that I ever played, and that's why I got it on this list. Number 2, I got Terminator, the arcade game. This was a very good game. It also was ported to the Sega Genesis and the SNES, although I do prefer the Sega Genesis version over the SNES because it's a little bit better and it has more stuff added in, but nothing really beats the arcade game, as you get to play all the scenes from the movie, and then you get all the different weapons that they supply you with in the game, and then of course you have your encounters with the T-1000. And this was just a very good game. Also had some very good voice acting, although it really doesn't have the voice acting of Arnold Schwarzenegger or anybody from the movie. It was still a very good game, and the graphics are just amazing for its time. And it's one of the reasons why I got it on here, and one of the reasons why, in my opinion, it's one of the best movie to video games ever made, and why I have it at number 2, in my opinion, why it should be on number 2 on this list. And then finally, number 1, I got Batman for the NES. Very good game. It stayed true to the movie, and it also had a lot of good levels, and the graphics were pretty good for an NES video game. Also had the cutscenes from the movie, which really was unheard of around that time, and the cutscenes actually look like the movie. And then of course you had the many variety of weapons, and then you had the weapon that you needed to keep in order for you to kill the Joker, and then many other of the bosses in this game. But But other than that, this is a very good game and probably one of my favorite games. Anyhow, rate, comment, and I'm